Hi guys, Redneck Wannabe here. I hope all is well with you and your family today. So I made, last winter I didn't really understand the difference between a hoop house and a greenhouse, and so I was calling a hoop house a greenhouse. But I've made one now, so it's not completely finished. I ran out of screws, but I just wanted to walk through with you just real quick and just show you. It's a simple thing, simple way to do it. I got the plans from a channel called Texas Prepper 2, and I'll put a link to that video in the description as well. But he'll sell these plans for, I want to say, like $3. But if you have an Amazon Kindle, you can download it for free, and so that's what I did. So I got free plans, and so I used this design for the shed that I have at my house. The only difference, obviously, is I have the corrugated metal, or whatever you want to call it, instead of the clear panels. So if you do decide to do this, well, here, let me step back. The Texas Prepper, he has the same design. It looks just like this. I don't think his is as long. So the width is, I want to say, 9 foot, and then you can make this as long as you want, because what you're using is cattle panels. And cattle panels will come, I want to say they're 5 foot by, it's either 15 or 16 feet, I'm not sure. So I've got 3 cattle panels, and the actual linear feet comes out to be, I think, 14 foot. So the polycarbonate panels are 8 foot long, so obviously I've got a 2 foot overlap right there. So but it's basically, this is 9 foot by 14 feet. And then if you're gonna do this, one thing that I noticed, or found out, I guess the hard way, was the cattle panels will start to bow these 2x4s, and so I had to come in and just put a support brace right there just to keep it from bowing. And then I put it up on blocks just to keep the wood off the ground so it won't rot. But I've got a space for, I can put a door here and I can put a door there. I can either put a door, or I can put a 2x4 right across there and just make that a window. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So, but for sure a door here. And then one thing, I'm going to put another, I'm going to get some mending brackets, and I'm going to put another 2x4 right down here, and one to go down, because if I just put the polycarbonate on there, it's just going to be flopping right there in the wind. So I need something right here to secure it. Now, the way I understand it, I think there's 2 types of clear panels. One is a polycarbonate panel, and there's another one out there. I don't know what it's called, but the polycarbonate, or this one anyway, has a 20-year warranty. So if you do something like that, I would suggest the longer lasting. Now, that the Texas Prepper 2, he has a greenhouse. The only difference that he has versus what I have is, instead of the clear panels, he has put the clear plastic wrap. And so I don't know what mill, but from what I've seen, whenever you put, my hoop house, it started to disintegrate, man, a month or 2 ago, just from the sun beating down on it. So that's the only difference that he had versus what I did. So obviously you put the you build the frame, and then you put the cattle panels on. And then what I did was I just got some roofing screws, and I screwed these 2x4s in, so I have something to attach the panel to. And from the inside, you can use zip ties. Zip ties are probably a little bit easier, but I just wanted to go more on the cheap side, so I just strung these up with string. And then from the outside, I just screwed the roofing screws in. And I don't know if you'll be able to see. I'll try to show you, but this thing is fairly steady. I think it's going to get heavier as I put more panels on. I've got some more 2x4s that I need to put right up there. And then obviously with the sides here. So I know my shed at home is super, super heavy and sturdy. So I assume this will be too. You know, it's a little wobbly, but I think it'll serve its purpose. Now, if you do something like this, be sure you get roofing screws with this little plastic washer or rubber washer, because if you don't, if you just drill directly in through this this panel, when it rains, you're going to start leaking. Now, in a greenhouse, that may not be that big a deal, but if you use, you know, like I messed up and I screwed through the corrugated metal, and now it leaks, and I just have to go in there with some silicone. But for sure, use roofing nails. Also, if you do this, what I did was I started from the bottom and I went up, because I can overlay these, or the top one over the bottom one, just because if it does rain, it'll just trickle on down. If you do it vice versa, if it rains, it'll go between the panels and it'll be leaking. So hopefully that made sense. But you know, I think I've done this just by myself because everybody's busy this week, so it's just been me. And it has, if I wouldn't have run out of screws, it would have just been a day-long process. And I think regardless of whether it's, you know, this long or longer or shorter, I think it's just going to be a day-long process for you. So, but one thing I am going to do is I've got some old 55-gallon drums that I'm not using, and I'm going to bring those in here, I think 2 of them, and I'm just going to fill them up with water, and that way the water gets nice and warm, so whenever the weather does turn, it's not gonna, the inside of the greenhouse isn't gonna drop below freezing like the outside of the greenhouse will. So, but anyway, that's the greenhouse. I hope it helps. Questions, ideas, suggestions, always welcome, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Bye.